Hello.
Hello.
Hello and welcome to this week's webinar Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday, somewhere in November as we lurch towards Christmas. So anyway, welcome everybody who's joined us today and who's either watching this live or watching it later, on demand as we call it.
On demand, yes, indeed. The brave new world of social media and all that stuff.
Yeah. So this week we're a bit different, aren't we, Alastair?
We are a bit different. We are home alone this week, aren't we?
Yeah. Or as I think, who was it? As one boy band said, we're flying without wing. I can't remember what they're called. Who sang that?
I don't know. I don't even know if I want to admit to knowing that.
Yeah. So we haven't actually got a guest this week, have we? That's really what we're trying to say. We haven't got any guests this week. We're just going to talk through a few things, some news, some interesting things that have been happening, some things that we think might be useful and interesting to share with people. Yeah.
That's it. Just running through a few. It has been quite a week, though, hasn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of the wider news, I suppose they finally said in America that there's going to be a new president, although there's no real change in terms of the previous president's attitude to whether or not he's going to go.
Wow.
So that's quite interesting. It'll be quite interesting from a disability point of view, considering his attitude to acknowledging disabilities and mocking disabled reporters and all that. It'll be weird to have an actual politician in the White House rather than anyway.
Yeah,
not go too far.
So a little bit of hope there.
A little bit of hope.
And also a little bit of hope in terms of looking to the future with all the news about vaccines and the development in vaccines. Yeah, not for today or not even for tomorrow, but it does allow you to be able to think forward a little bit. I think forward and think actually at some point in the future we might be able to return to something which is more like a normality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and so we've got this is William reminding us that it's the Remembrance week as well. So it is.
It's also Remembrance. So it's the 11th. We're actually starting at the 11th hour on the 11th day of the 11th month, Alastair. So we're actually starting. So we launched our broadcast here.
We should have probably started at 2 minutes past, should we?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. But most people do their reflections on the Sunday before, don't they? Anyway,
they do, and it's like everything else. All that's been affected this year.
Yeah.
And then I guess on the not so bright side, we've got the COVID. On the increase again, and just the sheer frustration that folk are feeling about the fact that some of the restrictions in some areas in Scotland are actually on the rise again, and what that means for the next couple of months, what that means for Christmas and all that. And I guess that's some of the stuff we've been talking about is what do we do in the meantime to help support folk over that time. And I think one of the things we've said is there'll be some stuff that will maybe take a bit of a back seat over Christmas, but we might do odd things like we're speaking about doing a festive Friday on Christmas Day, because I think some folk are saying that, because it's going to be a funny old Christmas and a lot of people are on their own, that it would be good to catch up and have a bit of a news. So
Christmas Day is a Friday, isn't it, this year?
It is a Friday. So if you think that's a good idea or anything, I can see there's a few folk watching. Anybody wants to give us any comments, any ideas of other stuff that will help see you through the next little while, then please feel free. Ask your questions, make your comments. That would be lovely.
And in relation to our webinar Wednesdays, we've got them running through now until the the 16th of December.
Yeah, the 16th.
That's what we've agreed, isn't it? So run through the webinar Wednesday to the 16th of December, and then we're going to take a couple of weeks break at that point from our webinar Wednesday discussion and come back again suitably refreshed, re-energized.
Read something, yes.
Yeah, in the new year.
Yeah, so we've got, so we'll maybe just tell people who we've got for the next few weeks. So started off, we've got next week we've got Malcolm Chisholm.
Yeah, Malcolm's one of the panel members of the independent review panel of social care in Scotland. He's also a former health minister of one of the early devolved governments. But he's on that review panel, so he's coming in that review panel position next Wednesday to share some of the progress, some of the thoughts, some of the developments in terms of that independent review of social care in Scotland. So that should be an interesting one.
That's very timely, isn't it? Because I guess we've been doing our own reflections with people about adult social care and review and everything. So yeah, then we've got the following week. We've got Chris Third from the. He used to be in the Scottish Health Council, and he's now part of Health Improvement Scotland. Him and Gosha will be joining us, tell us a little bit about their role.
Yeah. Who's that person who's coming with him? Did you say that?
Gosha. It's one of his colleagues. So yes. So certainly we've known Chris for a few years. He's been part of the regular attendance at the Learning Disability Group, and he's come on and when there's been consultations about changes to health services. Looking at how inclusive, arrangements around about prescriptions and stuff, and they've actually were involved in some of the designing of the new hospital buildings up in ARI about how accessible, because sometimes these things are a bit of a maze, a bit of a rabbit warren, and try to make sure that they didn't then build it and then find out that these things are not accessible.
Okay, so that week, Alastair.
Yes.
Chris will be the third, right? And Gosha will be the fourth. This is how it goes.
If you'd like to hear more of Keith's joke,
then please send your requests in on a postcard. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So so then we've got and then the following week we've got Jay Moyer, and Jay's, as far as I know, Jay's the first person with cerebral palsy he's a wheelchair user, and he is the first person to be also a qualified gym instructor with cerebral palsy. So it's quite an interesting thing. We thought we could talk to Jay, not just about that, but also a little bit about the other stuff he's involved with. Jay was involved with Music for You growing up, and he's at Open University doing criminology and stuff at the moment. So quite a few exciting things. So just hear his experiences of lockdown and some of that stuff. And then lastly we've got Sam Sly. So Sam had been having a brief online discussion about how some people were still struggling with the idea of involving people with a disability and their families in the decision making around about choosing staff. So we'll probably speak to a bit more about that. So that could be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, I think it would also be. I mean, we can obviously have broad discussions with all of our all of our guests. I'm thinking Sam might have quite a lot to say about people being placed in people having the opportunity to live in their own homes rather than being placed in institutional settings as well. So I look forward to that. But that's the 16th of December, then, isn't it, Alastair? That's our that can be our Christmas special. That one.
Christmas special.
It will be. I'm sure it will be a cracker, that one as well. Anyway, right.
So
so this week this week we were going to share something that June is on holiday this week, isn't she? So June, our colleague, is on holiday.
So we're in charge of any comments. It's down to us.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So we need to pay attention to that, because sometimes June would do helpful things like look up and put websites up if somebody was referring to something. So we'll have to try and do that ourselves.
Yeah, we will. But June had also, just before she went on holiday, been working on an easy read document that relates to the different levels of restrictions that we currently have in place in different areas in Scotland, hadn't she, Alastair?
She had indeed.
Yeah, so you were just going to share a little bit just of that, weren't you? Just to.
I am indeed.
Yeah. So this is this is an easy read guide to the different levels of protection that everyone in Scotland is under one of these, from the 5 different levels from 0 to 4.
Yes.
And the intention is that it provides a simplified and summarized version of what each of those levels means.
Yes.
Currently. Now, obviously, information changes all the time. So, but we thought it was a useful thing to do. So I don't know whether you want to just take us. So it's not intended to be comprehensive, and so it also has links where you should be able to see what level, able to confirm which level you are currently under, which restriction area, what are the restrictions in your area, level 0 to 4, and it also gives you a link to check any further information if it isn't included in this document. So this is intended as a summary to give you the information about what the restrictions are, dependent on the level that you are currently under.
Yes. Yeah. So we start with we could start with the nobody's in it at the moment, but level 0, which is that people can meet from outside your household, indoors in your home, in someone else's home, or in a public place such as a bar, cafe, restaurant, and the maximum number of people who can meet indoors is 8, and can be from up to 3 different households. But you don't count any children. This is where it gets complicated, isn't it? You don't count any children who are under 12 in the total number of you can meet. And the maximum number you can meet outside is up to 15 from no more than 5 households. And then, we could put this up on the website, on our website, and we can put this up on our Facebook and Twitter as helpful. You
want to just take us through to the last level, or to level 3? Because is Aberdeen in level 3 now, Alastair, or not? Or level
no, we're only level 2. We seem to be one of the few ones that are actually avoiding a level 3 at this moment in time, because Fife and Perth and Kinross have all gone into level 3 from Friday, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and Angus as well, I think, isn't it? That's
Angus as well, yes. So there's an up-to-date. Right, let's just taking a wee while to load and just bring it up. So we're still in level 1 there.
Yeah.
So there's quite a lot of detail. So most of Scotland is level 2 or level 3. So
yeah.
Level 2s, you shouldn't meet anyone who doesn't live with you in your home or their home. 6 people from 2 different households in public places, and then it's the confusion sometimes is about where and when you can eat food and whether they serve alcohol. So the details are in there, and then I'll move it on to level 3 in a second. So that those little graphics are the ones from the actual government guidance as well.
Yeah.
So level 3. So this is what a lot of Scotland's facing. You shouldn't meet anybody in your home unless they care for you on a regular basis. Meet 6 people from 2 different households at indoor public spaces such as a restaurant or a cafe, but not inside your home. You meet with people from another household outdoors, and they're allowed to be open. Pubs and bars and restaurants are allowed to be open for food, but are not allowed to sell alcohol indoors or outdoors. These premises must close at 6 p.m.
Yeah. So the intention is just to provide this information from the government guidance around the protection, isn't it, Alastair? So we haven't yet shared that, have we? But we'll share it at the start of next week.
Yeah.
We'll just have another double quick check on it and then share it by the start of next week. That's the intention, isn't it?
That's it. So it's just the idea is that it would just be another useful tool, because people keep asking for as much information as they can, and we've had discussions in our Feel Good Fridays a lot of the time about trying to understand and how many places you've got to look for the information. I mean, while June was looking it up, she was frustrated at just how many times she had to click on. More information is available in the following leaflet, in the following sub section. So you really have to keep checking to make sure that these things are up to date. So this was what June did, based on what they were saying at that time, and it keeps changing. Right. Don't know why, but Keith is funny this week. Michael, don't encourage him.
Well, I mean, come on. I don't need much encouragement, really, do I?
Look at this. You've got your fan club this week.
Well, I don't need much encouragement, do I, Alastair?
Not really. So that's. I mean, at least the main thing is that people, even if we're not really happy about the restrictions, I guess the main thing is if we can be confident about what we should and shouldn't be doing, and we're not actually doing stuff that puts people at risk unnecessarily and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Good. Other stuff. I guess you've got the AGM coming up.
Oh yeah, we have. We've got InControl Scotland AGM coming up in 2 weeks' time. So it's a slightly different one, obviously, this year. So it's a relatively short meeting, but it's from 3 p.m. on Tuesday, the 24th of November. We're having our AGM. So we're going to spend some time, as we normally would at AGM, looking back at what we did in the year in question, which was the year leading up to all the restrictions, i.e. finishing in March 2020, the end of March 2020. And we're also going to try and engage with people who come along and who want to come along, really just talking about and looking at our priorities over the next wee while as well. So there'll be an opportunity for some discussion, some potential breakouts in that AGM, some thinking about what is it that InControl, what is it that people, we just really like to hear what people are saying, is because we've obviously we're not doing the same things we thought we'd be doing at this time of year or at any time of year at the moment. So we'd quite just like to hear from anyone who wants to share with us what people think is the most important things that we should be doing now, or what would really help you. So that's the sort of conversation that we're going to have at the AGM. It's not really going to be any more complicated or any more sophisticated than that. What would be the most important things we can do, and what would really help you? So those are the sorts of things that
that's really helpful. So that's up on the Facebook page at the moment. So we'll share it on Twitter as well. So if anybody wants to, whether or not you've been involved or you've just come along and watched this on Webinar Wednesdays, feel free to join us and have your say, because that'd be really good. SDSS have got their AGM tomorrow as well, called Paving the Way. So it'll be interesting to see just a bit more about how much discussion there is on there, and I'm going to be along to that. So, are there any particular themes to that? What did you say? What's it called, Alastair? It's called Paving the Way. There was actually quite a reasonably detailed questionnaire when you signed up for it, asking about what you thought round about specific topics.
Mhm.
And so they just trying to see what the
Mhm.
so this is what the description is. They're showcasing 3 major elements in influencing change and reform in adult social care. So they are
Mhm.
they've got to have Lucy Mulva
Mhm. From the Alliance.
from the Alliance, Derek Feely, the chair,
Okay.
Independent Review,
Mhm.
Ailsa McAllister from Social Work Scotland.
Okay. Yeah.
And yeah, so that's tomorrow.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if tickets are still available, but if they are, you can get them on Eventbrite.
Yeah, just by going to the SDSS site.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And so yes, so they're
Self-directed Sports Scotland site. If anybody
Self-directed Sports Scotland. Yes.
Yeah.
So the review of adult social care and the true implementation of SDS. So all stuff that I guess we've all been talking about and thinking is really important to get right.
Yeah. Okay. No, that sounds good. So it'd be good to hear how that goes and where the discussion goes with that. One of the things I was going to try and share was something that I became aware of, but I think I'm unfortunately I'm going to try and share it on screen, but we'll just see if I can share it on screen. I'm not sure whether it'll work or not.
Okay.
But let me see. No, I don't think it's gonna allow me to do that. No, don't think it's allowing me to do that. Okay, so I'm not going to share it on screen, but I'll just talk to you about it anyway then, yeah?
Yeah.
So basically this is an opportunity for any unpaid carers to access a couple of webinars. So it's called Support in Difficult Time for Unpaid Carers and Employers of Personal Assistance. And it's something that's been developed through the National Wellbeing Hub for anyone who has a responsibility to provide support to others, including unpaid carers. And there are 2 webinars that have been set up, which are sessions to learn more about the Wellbeing Hub and a program called Feeling Good, which focuses on building personal resilience to cope with stress, anxiety, and low mood. The sessions are 24th of November and the 25th of November, and they're being run by someone called Dr. Alastair Dobbin and Sheila Ross, who developed this program. So we'll share information about those 2 sessions. One's on Thursday the 24th at 4 p.m. and the other one is Wednesday the 25th at 7 p.m. And the intention is that you just attend one of those, obviously. So they're the same session being run twice, and they're specifically designed for anyone who sees themselves and provides support as an unpaid carer. An opportunity to hear about some resources that can help you to manage any feelings such as isolation, anxiety, fatigue, poor sleep, which we know, obviously, particularly in these current times, are particularly prevalent, particularly an issue for lots of people because of the new challenges and the uncertainty that's around for everybody. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so we'll share that in other ways as well. I mean, unfortunately, I couldn't share that there, but
yes.
We can share that through our Twitter, through our Facebook pages as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And just talking about carers, there's also we've got the Carers Parliament. They've got I think they've got the three dates: the 16th, 17th of November, and the 25th of November. So again, we could share a bit of detail about that. And Savannah and stuff has been sharing some stuff on social media about that as well. So another really good
on the 25th of November. as part of the Carers Parliament, there's a session about the self-directed sport collective as well.
Yes.
So that forms part of that.
Those 3 days, yeah.
Yeah, part of those days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll put something in the. I'm not sure. I'll share something first, and then we'll put something in the chat with the details of that. Yeah. Cool. Okay. Are we ready for some good news as well, though?
Yeah, definitely. We're always ready for some good news. I'm always ready for some good news.
So this is what a story that I just was made aware of just in the last week. Chris Nickick has completed an Ironman race, first ever person in the world to with Down syndrome to complete a full Ironman, which is an incredible feat because it's like I think it's about 4 miles of swimming, 120 miles of on a bike, and then 26 miles of full marathon to finish.
Over what period of time, Al? Is there a period of time you have to do that in? Is it like...
That's him coming in. Well, that's him coming in at 16 hours.
Chris Nickick raced for 17 hours to cross this finish line.
But it's not on shared screen, though, is it, Alastair?
Oh.
Cheering fans, hugs in the dark for the first person with Down syndrome to ever attempt and
oh dear, did that not share? It said,
No.
Oh, browser can't access to your screen. Let's try. Now, it's sometimes done this recently. Let me try that again, because it allowed me to select it, and then it didn't allow me to share it. Right, is it sharing this time?
It is, actually, yeah, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's good. So, right, okay, it's only a 2-minute clip, so I'll just show you.
Complete an Ironman triathlon.
Being the first person Down syndrome is a great feeling.
We met Chris the week before the race at his home near Orlando and got a glimpse of his grueling training, 4 to 8 hours a day, preparing to swim 2.4 miles in open water, ride 100 full marathon to cap it off.
I can prove to kids that if I can do it, then they can do it too.
Chris has faced tougher obstacles he didn't sign up for. He couldn't walk until 4 years old or eat solid food until 5, enduring countless childhood surgeries. His parents want others raising children with disabilities to see what's possible.
We want them to realize earlier that their child is a blessing and they can live an amazing life.
What time did Chris tell him?
Good time!
And finish amazing races. Early on race day in Panama City Beach, Florida, Chris plunged into the chilly water, his coach Dan tethered to his side for safety. Then on to biking, where Chris took a nasty spill.
You're almost an Ironman.
But kept going, showing the heart of a champion and finishing the race.
What does it feel like to be an Ironman?
It is pretty amazing.
Now, after recovering, he's been receiving messages from around the world, from the many people he's touched.
People look at him and what they're saying to themselves is, wow, if he can do that much, I wonder what I can do.
Chris would likely tell them there's only one good way to find out. For today, Katie Beck, NBC News.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
Wow.
we do some wow sports stories, and that one right there was the crown jewel.
He's not done either. He wants to go to the Ironman World
Chris.
Championship in Hawaii next year, which
Go, Nick.
Go.
So that was the story.
It's a massive logistical challenge.
Right, just get rid of that now. That's fine. But sorry, before it starts talking about all sorts of other stuff.
Yeah.
It was coronavirus vaccines there. But that I just thought that was another stunning example of, because we often talk, don't we, on here and in InControl Scotland in general, about how sometimes people say, oh, you guys, you overestimate people, you know, you're unrealistic and stuff. And that was a young man that didn't, you know, didn't walk in his first few years. And then, we'll come to Michael's story in a minute. Yes. And then he's achieved all of this fantastic, very grueling. I mean, or for most people without a disability, the idea of doing an Ironman is pretty, far out there.
It certainly is. Certainly is. Certainly is. I mean, what makes me think is I don't want to be an Ironman, actually, Alastair. But
No.
But because it isn't about that. Is it? It's about whatever it is that is your dream.
And I mean, it's not like everybody has to do that, and everybody can be normal as well. It doesn't have to be, something fabulously out of the ordinary. Sometimes people are being denied things that are just completely ordinary. And I guess Michael's sharing a bit of a story about that. So the other side in the media is obviously the Emmerdale have defended a forthcoming storyline about seeing a couple terminate their pregnancy after being told that the child has Down syndrome. And I suppose there's that thing about should we have that on a soap storyline? But the other side of that is if it's actually happening, and it is actually still happening, then probably we need to debate it. We need people to be aware of it rather than hiding it.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously Michael was on yesterday talking about on our Tuesday Talks yesterday, which people can still access through Facebook or on the YouTube channel, about 25 years of the Disability Discrimination Act, or the commemoration of that, which was on Sunday, on the 8th of November, and how some things have changed and other things haven't, how there are still lots of barriers.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that those two stories they kind of bookend either end of the spectrum, don't they? They're sort of like that some people are being supported and having belief in them about, you can do all these amazing things. And the other side is that some people still just see disability as something that shouldn't be happening, and that you can get rid of rather than embracing people's differences. Yeah, so it is still a massive work in progress, and I thought Michael did a good job yesterday of running through some of the different areas of that.
Yeah. So while we're thinking about that, I think I will just share also the fact that Life Changes Trust are just about to open what will be their final individual awards program. And it's an individual awards program for anyone in Scotland who has 3 months care experience.
Yes.
And who is aged 16 to 30. So actually it's a slightly older, the awards program extends further than some of the previous programs, which finished at 26. So the main criteria are that really you need to be someone who has care experience. You need to be age 16 to 30, and you need to be able to think about how you might use an award, to think and describe how you might use an award to try something new and take steps towards a longer term goal or dream that you have. So that's it. Those are the criteria. 18 to 30. I said 16 to 30, didn't I? It says 18 to 30, currently living in Scotland, and at least 3 months care experience. And it launches next Monday. Launches on Monday, the 16th of November, and it's literally open for 4 weeks.
Right. It's really important, isn't it? Because that's because we thought it possibly wouldn't go live until after Christmas. So it's really important that folk get active and get applying if it's 4 weeks, because that's sometimes what happens. People start slowing down, run up to Christmas.
It closes on the 14th of December, Alastair. Maybe what we can do is we can, again, I'm just mentioning it now, and we can share it through the platforms, but we maybe just show a couple of things on screen next time, just so people don't miss out on that. If they're themselves or they know someone who might be thinking it's useful to apply, because it's a great opportunity. It is an opportunity that we don't want anybody to miss out on. So
no, definitely.
So we'll share that again next time. And the other thing to mention there, probably at the moment, is that Connecting Scotland got in touch with us recently to let us know that they will be providing us with some computers, devices, and also access to data in the next month or so. We'll confirm this week how many devices. And the target for those devices are people who are digitally excluded, so parents, families with children, and again, young people with care experience. So we will have some of those devices to distribute to people who fit into those categories. And the aim is to to help people to become better connected and to have the access to be connected online, specifically families with children and young people with care experience again. So we'll share more information about that. So as we say, there's always lots happening, and that's one of the other ones that's we'll have more information about very, very soon.
And I think it's Chromebooks they're giving us that we've got to give out. So again, quite a good way of accessing the internet, because they've got bigger screen than a phone or a tablet. Yeah. But it's still quite quite simple, quite similar to an Android phone in terms of if you're used to using that rather than a Windows-based computer. Yeah. Yep. So watch this space for that. So that's really helpful. So just going back to, I guess, Michael's point about the discussions with Radio Scotland there, a bit about this, having discussions in the media about these topics. Yeah. About disability, about how people with a disability are portrayed, how they're viewed, how folk are, whether people are seen as having value, and what things people are actually included in discussions or are asked about. So one of the things we're starting to do a bit of work on, and this is still very, very draft, is a kind of a draft inclusive media policy. So is that showing up okay? Yeah. Cool. Okay. It just seems to be the some of the web pages that don't like to work so well. So this is just a work in progress. We're having a meeting next Monday. So Keith, Danielle, Michael McEwen and myself are all meeting up next Monday to just talk a bit more about this, but we've been doing a little bit so far. And some of the things we've identified are that some statements for the media to think about how they portray people with a disability and how they include people in discussions and panels. So just reminding folk that people are more than their disability, to consider representative panels generally when interviewing around subjects, even if the topic isn't specifically about disability. I mean, how many times have we seen, game shows and things on telly, as well as, discussion panels, where, it's very, very rare you see many people with disabilities being part of those mainstream, programming. There's some folk making more of an effort, but. And then when people are part of a panel discussion, making sure that there are opportunities for people to contribute on other topics. So one of the things we recognise is that sometimes folk will be asked the disability question, and then when there's general talk about what's on the news or wider debate, it's not necessarily that person's gone back to and asked about those things. And so we're gonna do some short sketches by on video just to kind of illustrate some of these points. And then just asking people to consider
who's written those sketches, Alastair?
Who's written those sketches? Yeah. It's an Oscar-winning me, by the way. So okay. It's just that we did, well, I should say we've written it. We've actually filmed it. It's just that we don't have the director's cut quite ready yet. Okay. We filmed them with Danielle and one of her support staff, who was willing to act as somebody else as part of the process, and then Mike did some with Michael as well. So we've done that. We just need to edit them out into individual stories now. So, but we'll see.
When do we think those will be available?
Well, after we have our discussion next Monday,
might be able to stop. I mean, I'm doing work online here. Obviously, we are negotiating online. Can we share them at the AGM? Do you think that's decent?
Absolutely. I would hope that we'll be ready for the
AGM.
AGM.
That sounds good. That sounds like an interesting thing to share at the AGM as well, I think.
Yeah. And the whole idea is that hopefully what we'll hope for is that people will, in the media, we can have a conversation about this. We don't want it to be preachy either. We want it to be a conversation, but just avoiding stereotyping people with disabilities and just helping people to see that, you know, folk are more than their disability and that you can ask us about folk about other things. So that was it's just a work in progress. So if anybody's seen anything there and thinks, oh, that's interesting, or I'd like to know a bit more about that, you know, feel free to share or to send in any comments to us by email or you know on Feel Good Friday or anything like that. Take part in any of these opportunities to have discussions. So that's another thing that we've been up to.
Okay. Yeah, I think have we shared all the things we wanted to share now, Alastair? We've gone through our list there. I think we have, haven't we?
I think we have. I mean, I haven't got it ready to share, but I suppose there was the report that June did following our adult social care review.
Yeah.
Is there anything in that we want to pick up on?
Well, I mean, we had some interesting discussion. I think I would just say we had interesting discussion as part of the meetings that we set up about that. And essentially, I think the main points that came from the priorities that people, we can talk more about this next week, of course, but the priorities that came were let's just implement self-directed support as we all hoped it would be implemented, and ensure that people have good information and are able to hold their local area implementation to account if their experience isn't as we would all expect it to be. I think for me, they were probably the two most memorable things that I've got from that, Alastair.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I think maybe that's not. I don't think anyone watching this program or with this live stream would be surprised by that.
No.
Because that was that's always the focus of our discussion, but certainly it came through very clearly in the conversations that we had. Yeah. Okay. The other thing I was going to share maybe just now then was just to mention, many people who are here might have watched last Friday's State Scotland broadcast, which is something we're doing on the first Friday of every month. So there's another one due in December, and there is an opportunity so we're still gathering music in for that live stream, which will be on Friday the 3rd of December, I think it is, whatever the Friday is anyway, at 9 p.m. So we're still gathering. So if anybody has any music that you want us to showcase on that broadcast, then email it in to Stay Up Late Scotland or get in touch. We're particularly keen to get music and film in MP4 format, if you know what that is. And it basically just means that there's music and some film together. But if any aspiring musicians, anyone who has been trying to do something like that, then please get in touch with us, and we're keen to showcase it either on the Christmas special, which is in December, or in future broadcasts next year.
Yeah, that's good. And I guess another bit related to the Stay Up Late is that we've been kind of exploring a little bit about this idea of doing an online music workshop, which we're still in the process of discussing with No Labels, No Walls to try and get a definite date in. But we had a bit, because we actually had the Stay Up Late last night. And we had a bit of a play about with a music making app called Music Maker Jam. So we're going to have a trial at putting together some tunes. For those of us lacking in the instrumental skills department, we're going to have a bash at using some of these pre-recorded things to make some different tunes, and see if we can link into some of the stuff we did a couple of weeks ago on No Labels, No Walls, where we're looking at folk putting forward some lyrics and trying to make a bit of a song. So watch this space for more stuff coming up.
Okay, so our last comments today would be Feel Good Friday this Friday, as normal, back in its normal slot.
Yes.
Yep. And if anybody wants to join that hasn't joined before, they should contact you, Alastair.
Yep. And I'll give them the Zoom link. It's the same Zoom link every week. Perfect. And also we're keen to get people's stories, good news stories about how they've managed to get, if they've had good support over this time. Let's share those stories. Anything that's really worked in terms of folk being flexible, things that folk have shifted around, because there is a lot of negativity around about some of the things that people haven't managed to achieve over these times. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, that's wrong. It's just Alastair.m.
Oh, right. Yeah. See, I'm trying to do it too fast there.
Oh, you see, I was thinking. Ooh. No, it's still Alastair.m. Wait a sec. I'll just delete those comments. Delete comment. Ooh. I've got an option here saying put user in timeout.
What you mean?
It comes up on the screen. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, that's so we know what we. Yeah. Okay. And the other opportunity is info@in-controlscotland.org.uk. So any one of those would get across to us. But if anybody wants to join this Friday, that's how they would do it. Next Wednesday is our webinar Wednesday, back with guests, and our guest next week, as we said earlier, is Malcolm Chisholm from the Independent Review of Social Care in Scotland. So if you have a question that you want to ask, then think that through beforehand. If you want to join in the discussion, join us and make any comments that you want. And we look forward to seeing you soon. We look forward to sharing with you next week what's been happening, to having that discussion, and to to taking forward some more of those things that we've told you about today. So we've got lots more to do there. And I think my final comment would be something that we said yesterday in Michael's Tuesday talk, which was really just that reflection that since the Disability Discrimination Act came in, lots of things have improved. Some barriers have come down or been removed, but there's still lots to do for us to get to a truly equal, and inclusive Scotland. So
absolutely well said. That's bang on. That's what we're all about, isn't it? Because we can never get complacent, can we? Because there's lots of opportunities for things to be better for people, and I guess that's one of the things with the inclusive media thing, where you spot it. Anytime we spot something that could be improved, it's all of our jobs to try and say, look, this is an example of how it could be better. If you can't imagine it, because I think that still seems to be the problem. Some people still can't imagine things being better and see it just as criticism rather than wow, this is the way you can do it better. And that's I think one of the big strengths of InControl Scotland is it doesn't just tell people to stop doing things. It shows people, better ways,
solutions. Yeah, that's what we should be about. That's what we should always be about. Let's try and find solutions together.
Yeah.
So on that note.
On that note.
Yeah.
We shall see you all.
Goodbye. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next week, if not before.